And welcome back, and today we are going to be flying out the premium Spitfire Mk.IXc, and this thing goes for 490 Gaijin coins, and is probably one of my biggest regrets in this entire game, because I earned this thing in the 2v2v2 event a while ago. I got the coupon and I thought, well, it's a Spitfire, it's already going for 50 Gaijin, I might as well sell it, because it's probably not going to be that much higher. Yeah, it's going to be a lot higher, it's now almost 10 times that amount, so I do regret it. Luckily I was able to request a test drive for you guys, so here we are with an actual Spitfire video on my channel, because I noticed that I've done like one of them and it's quite a while ago. I need to fly these things more, I might take a Griffin out soon here. But first things first, what is this thing like? Well, it's a Mark 9 with 4 cannons. There's not much to it, it's not that special, but it is a premium. But it's still a Spitfire, and you do want to be careful with this thing. It's good in the 1v1s when you are above someone, when you have the energy advantage. But when you are below people, it's very easy for people to just boom and zoom you. You are basically treated like a zero, except you don't have an absolutely bonkers stall speed. Now sure, you still stall pretty late and you turn pretty well, but you're not a Japanese plane, so when everyone just runs away from you, you can't just helicopter up. You have some options and you can do some fancy flying, but at the end of the day, the Spitfire is kind of one of those, it can be pretty strong in some scenarios, especially if you have an energy advantage, but overall, I just don't enjoy flying these things. A lot of guys will treat you with too much respect, to the point where they just don't engage you or they just run away the entire time. Luckily I was able to get this video done in like 10 games, I think it was, and half of them will be in this video. I got a few carries, got a few dogfights, but starting off here, I am just flying around and seeing who I want to engage. First off, I wanted that XP50 to be gone. Luckily he's engaging someone else, the P38 now goes below us. And then the 109 also comes in. So I'm just kind of looking around. The P38 dove out, so he's out of the picture for now. I see a P51, he's flying away. I see an XP50, he's in a fight with a B25. And he's pretty far away, but then he kills the B25 and he starts turning into us. So this is going to turn into a 1v1. The XP50 has been somewhat methodical, so I want this 109 gone, because if I have to dogfight this guy, I'm going to be a sitting duck. I have a P38 on my right, I have an XP50 in front of me, and the XP50 100% would have gone for me if I got stuck in a dogfight, and I'm not really having that. Then I noticed the P38, he's pretty slow, I'm above him, I have an energy advantage, so this time I can go head on, but I don't have to send it. I have time, I have room, so I'm just gonna break off, I'm not gonna fly into his guns, there is no need to do so. And there we go, the XP50 notices that I'm tangled up with someone, and he instantly comes in. So it's a good thing I managed to slam that 109 the second he got in front of us. We hit the P38 again, unfortunately no critical damage, not again at least. And we're going to start a dogfight with the XP50. Now the XP50 does have pretty good power up here, but luckily our stall speed and our turn rate is just so much better that we will be able to just sit inside this guy's turning circle for the majority of this fight. Right here I notice that he's not going to get the shot, so I'm already going straight up. I'm going to use my flap to increase my turn rate here and just instantly get the shot, but I'm just a little bit too slow and he goes back up again. Now I dive a little bit, I pick up a slight bit of speed, and then I'm just going to pitch up straight into him. And now we start a rolling scissor. I'm going a little bit slower, I turn better, so this is just a matter of time. I'm going to be getting the shot off. I already dropped my throttle a little bit. I notice that he's trying to go vertical after we are stuck in the scissor. He noticed that I'm a little bit slower, tries to energy trap us, but I just have too low of a stall speed for him to do this. So eventually he ends up right in our guns. We click on him and he instantly dies. And then the 109 comes in. The 109 is going about as fast as we are, but I want to get this over with as quickly as possible, because the enemy on the other side of the map is ground pounding, going for AI, and they're relatively low. And the 109 at low altitude, not really that much of an issue, because the speed difference is not that substantial and you do outperform the 109 in many categories. So all I have to do is just not get in his guns. Notice that it's a G2 trop, so I don't really have to pay that much care to this fight, because he can't really even run away from me. He flies in our guns, we squeeze the trigger, and down goes the G2 trop. Now the G2 trop, I made a video like 2 or 3 years ago that it's an amazing plane. Nowadays it's not the best anymore, sadly, and that's mostly because you are going to be against Japanese planes very often. The J2M2 for example just does everything better than you. The Japanese are a little bit of the 109's kryptonite, so the fact that the Matchmaker these days is a little bit different makes it a pretty rough plane to fly. It's still a 109, it's still not terrible, But when you start going up against the powerhouse planes at 4.3, like the Yak-3, Yak-9U, J2M2, Puramersky, and basically half the planes at that BR, you know, it becomes a little bit of an annoyance, and you can definitely deal with them, but it's not as strong as it once was, unfortunately. So the 109F4 is going to be the superior plane in the long run. And if you want a video on the 109F4, I will be releasing one here very soon, with an update to the channel as well as some announcements that I have to make. But for now, we are going to be focusing on these two guys that are right below us. We are kind of boxed in. There's one on the left and there's one on the right, and the P-38 is the guy that we crit before. So the 190 right here is definitely a bigger threat. He is completely undamaged, so I want to kill him first. But if the P-38 presents himself, I will definitely take it, because I can turn this into a very easy 1v1. The P-38 is already leaking his piss all over the place. He's damaged, he won't be that fast. We are completely fine, other than a little bit of yellow wing damage. So if I kill this 190, it is basically game over for the P-38. So I dive on the guy, I'm going to click on the guy, and that guy is going to go straight back to the hangar. We put it back into a climb, we put all our speed back into altitude, and this P-38 is going to get nowhere near us. Simply because of his damage, because of the energy advantage that we have. And it's just a matter of cleaning up. And I know I said this in a Yak-3 video as well, that I did 2 days ago. But this guy is actually going to get cleaned up without me missing everything point blank range. So this guy is climbing up for us. We go into this little bit of a spiral, mostly horizontal. I'm not really trying to gain altitude. I'm just trying to bait this guy into a turn that goes upwards. And he does so. And once he commits, I'm not going to stall myself out. I'm going to actually dive into the head-on. Not take the shot at all. I'm just focused on not going into his guns. And look at that. Okay, he just doesn't have the speed to get away from us. So I'm just going to dive him down. Chase him down. He pops his smoke. And then it's a matter of cleaning up. Matter of cleaning up. There we go. That's kill number 5. And then there's a 6th guy left. And it's going to be a bomber. We are the last 2 guys on the map. And I told this guy, if you want a bomb, then go for it. This is during the point event, so every point counts. He's gonna let his bombs off. I'm going to get another kill. Everybody wins, right? So, as we have some dead space right here, I'm gonna be thank you to basically everyone. Thank you to all my patrons, which will be on the screen right now. As well as thank you to all almost 50,000. We just hit 10 million views. But again, I will address all of this a little bit more in depth in the announcement video that I will post in about 1 or 2 days. Expected when I hit 50,000 subscribers. So we are chasing now the bomber. I'm just waiting for him to die. I just keep hitting him. I keep hitting him. He's already has some of his gunners unconscious. He's getting absolutely dicked on by the anti-air. I'm shooting at him as well. Can you please just burn up? There we go. Kill number 6. And then the game right after it. We are gonna have a little bit of a how do you call it? A shitfest. It's going to be quite a game. It's going to be pretty chaotic, but it showcases what this plane can do and what it's not very good at the same time. So we go head on with the 109. It's again a G2 drop. All I have to do is stay out of this guy's gun. If he tries to pitch up, he dies. If he tries to dive out, well, he's in a crit 109. That won't have an energy advantage on anyone anymore. So, you know, it's not going to do that much. I'm just going to be finishing him up. But can you hear it? It sounds a bit like rats. Ah, it's just a wyvern. Makes sense. So if you paid some attention on the deck, yeah, right there. Because there aren't any windows to lick up at altitude, they go as low as possible and try to lick as many as they can. But I see that furball. I notice that my team is kind of being diminished to atoms, to dust, whatever you want to call it. So I want to get down there as quickly as I can and capitalize on the fact that they are somewhat busy right now, low on energy, and that I can come in and shoot at people that aren't paying attention. And in these kind of scenarios, the Spitfire is pretty damn strong, because it turns very well. It has decent guns, at least this one does. So you can kind of just come in and click on people. Now you do want to be careful that you don't go for the wrong person. We killed a BV, but there is a guy right below us, and I'm kind of tempted to go for the FU. But I'm going to get myself killed by all these other guys, so I'm going to go straight up here. If any of these guys follow me, they instantly die. I'm just looking at who is engaging who. I notice the P-47 is about to kill someone. The guy below me switched his attention to someone else, so I'm going to break off, shoot at someone else, and then I'm going to start a dogfight. The P-51 overshoots. I instantly turn for the J-21, and then I keep looking around, because now the F6, or basically the P-51C, is right on our 6. But he's shooting at someone else. And would you look at that, the F6C is actually a red exterminator, and he's gonna try to run down the guy that tried to yoink a kill at the start. I tell him to turn, but obviously he's not bright enough to actually do that. Instead he's gonna try to run away from his teammate so that I can't help him. He instantly goes down, and then the F6C tries to go head on with me. I'm not gonna do that, I'm just gonna break off before he does so. And I'm going to stall right on top of him, and he won't have the speed to get away from my guns. He might be going a little bit faster, but I can still dive a little bit. He then starts shooting the tree, probably felt so bad for it that he started hugging it to say sorry. But down goes the F6C, and there is an A6M on our right. I have a 109 next to me that's actually sentient, but communicating is hard, so I'm going to take the initiative for the change of strategy right here. I'm going to let the 109 go towards the A6M. I'm expecting the A6M to pitch up for him, and if he does so, I can instantly shoot him down very, very easily. And he does exactly as planned. Now, if the A6M tried to go head on with me, the 109 would have got an easy shot, and if he had missed it, we would have had a very easy time 1v1ing it, or 2v1ing it even. So A6M gone. A6M is very annoying to deal with. For now, I see this 190, he is chasing a P8, and I kinda hope I can deal with him. Shoot him down, get him out of the match so that there is no one above us. Because that's something you don't want. You want people to be below you, among you is maybe a possibility, but you don't want people above you. Now I'm going for him, he instantly dies for the airfield, as 190 players do. And now I'm going to be looking around on who to engage. And I notice the 109 is stall trapping someone, so I'm going to go there to kind of help him out, but it looks like he has everything under control. The 109 stalls out the FOU, falls right on top of him, and well, he finishes the job. I don't even need to do anything. I'm going to let this guy get the kill. I already broke off. There we go. Absolute textbook. Hit him with the whoa, excellent. And then we are gonna look for the next target. And I notice an A6M below us. I know that there is a guy on the runway. There's two guys in the middle of the map, but the A6M is one of those planes. If I start 1v2ing and there's also an A6M in the mix, I will not be able to do anything. They're just that annoying when you fly a Spitfire. They're pretty annoying in general. A6Ms on their own, no big deal. When you're dealing with multiple people in a Spitfire, you are gonna have a problem because one of those guys is probably going to be able to outrun you. And then this guy comes in and pitches down straight for you. Unfortunately, this guy pitched up straight in front of us and down he goes. Turns into an absolute fireball. And then we put it back into a climb. The J26 right now is dealing with 2 zeros in the middle of the map. And we are just going to climb a little bit and then go over there and assist him. So we are above them. It's about 4v2 right now. 1 zero goes down and the other zero instantly runs to the airfield. The 190 at the start of the match that ran to the airfield is still nowhere to be seen. We haven't spotted him. He hasn't probably left his airfield throughout the entirety of this match. I don't know how high he is. I don't know where he is. And I'm just going to assume that he's still circling the airfield. P47 is then just taking off. And he is also going to be camping the airfield for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Roughly, maybe 2 to 4 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. And as we are climbing, we spot the 190. And he's only on this part of the map. He's only at like 3 kilometers of altitude. So my assumption is that he has been on the airfield for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Noticed that his team was about to die and then started to climb. P47 is now chasing us finally. Because I am engaging the 190, or at least it looks this way. Now I noticed the P47 is chasing us. And I'm going to give this guy a head on. And see what he does if he finally comes out. So I'm going to do a slow turn. I'm not trying to whap as much as possible. So that I will maintain a little bit of fuel left. And if this guy pitches up for us, he basically dies. The thing is, look how close he is to the airfield. I already know what's going to happen the second I get a shot on him. So we merge, we dodge the head on, and I'm not even trying to stall out. I'm just going to try to go after him as quickly as possible. I notice him inverting the loop, and I'm instantly pitching down after him. And this should be a very easy kill. I get a hit, get another hit, get another hit, get another hit. Then I miss a bit. I'm just trying to kill this guy because he instantly runs back to the airfield. It makes no sense, and I know the P47 is going to put this fire out, so I'm going to keep shooting at him until he finally dies. Now I'm getting peppered by anti-air. I have an oil leak. I won't have much time. Spitfires overheat extremely quickly once you start leaking. And of course, you know what this means. Now the 190 suddenly feels like taking the fight to us. We are on the deck with damage to AA, we are alone, and then suddenly he wants to take the fight. And this is just the problem I have with these people. They camp the base until they have all the advantages, they basically can't lose anymore, and then they will start playing the game. But, you know, I have to play with the cards that I have been dealt, so I'm gonna keep this guy busy and try to make it so that the J26 gets an easy kill on him. So I'm not flying directly towards the J26. Why not? Because I don't want this guy to look over there. Maybe he will overlook him, not notice him, or whatever. I just want to make sure that this 190 puts all his focus on me and thinks that it's an isolated 1v1 that he is going to win. So we go head on, I break off, and here comes the J26. He dove too hard, he dove too far. But you're never too far for these guns. There we go, crit at 1.15. He is crit, he is gonna be absolutely feeling that. And he is now 2v1. He's stalling out after the J26. I'm picking up a little bit of speed here. I have the energy power, the engine power to churn out as many calories as possible and just pitch up after this guy. Because he is so busy doing or trying to shoot someone else. Now I'm gonna be missing him a little bit here. I don't really have the nose authority to put my nose exactly where I want it. So I'm not able to pull as much lead as I want. I'm still tap firing in the case something happens here. I want this guy to feel our pressure. I want this guy to take note of me, not think that I'm dead. If he needs to take note of both of us, he's going to probably make a mistake. And here it comes. He's outrunning me. And what does he do? He turns to the other airfield because that's a little bit closer. But doing so, he allows me to get a very easy shot. Tough shit. There goes your tail. Here we are, last game of today. 109 right below us, and this is one of my mistakes. I get a little bit greedy because I see a 109, that's a very easy kill, and I see those guys on the right, but I thought this guy is going to be a quick and easy kill, and then I'm going to continue on. I get on this guy 6, and I notice that guy going head on, so I break off as quickly as I can, but doing so makes it that I can't get the shot back in. But now I already committed a little bit to this guy, and I feel like it's a waste to break off. I should have just started reclimbing. But it's like the sunken cost fallacy. You already put a little bit in. It's a shame if you get nothing out of it. So I'm gonna start tap firing this guy. I finally kill him with like almost half my ammo. But I will redeem that a little bit later on with a few better shots than that. So now I start reclimbing. But the thing is, now I am below the 109. Go out with the P51. And there's another P51 that's a little bit above us. Even further away. 109 luckily flies the other direction. So I'm 1v1 with the P51. I'm not sure which one this is. That's a lot of ones. But that's the last one, I promise. So we go under him. I want him to dive on us. I want him to shed a little bit of speed. It's a P51C. He breaks off. And breaks off way too soon. And he just goes straight. And this allows me to just pitch after him. And even though he's quite far away, these guns have quite a lot of range. Shoot once, he dodges. Shoot again. Shoot again. He's not noticing at all. And then... zoom out, I know that's going to hit. Down goes the P51. Pay attention to your enemies. Just because you're faster and far away doesn't mean you are untouchable. Down goes the P51 and here comes the second one. So just in time. But this guy is going to be, I don't want to call it a challenge. Or maybe a challenge of patience. Because this guy is the most passive P51 I've ran into in a very long time. He's not trying to engage anything, he's not trying to do anything, all he's trying to do is simply run away. He's going for the LA5 right now. And it's going to take him a little bit to close the gap. But this guy just doesn't try to take any fights. He's just flying straight constantly. He makes the pass, he sprays, and then it's just straight line, gun it. And that's how you should fly that plane. It's the P51D, I think it's the D20 or the D10, I'm not entirely sure. But he's faster than us. The thing is, right here, they could have killed us both. But because he's so dead set on running away, even though he has such an energy advantage, it's going to do absolutely nothing. And again, and I keep saying this, sometimes you have to take some risk in order to win. If you're not going to take any risk, you are probably never going to get a shot. And if you never get a shot, you are never going to dwindle the enemy numbers down. So I'm going to start shooting at this guy. Shoot again. There we go, crit. But now he's just a little bit too fast and a little bit too far away. And he's going to be running in a straight line for the next 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to be cutting that out. We are now on 2 minutes of fuel. at altitude. He has been just running the entire time. We give him some shots, he doesn't take any of them. All he does is just run away. So what do we do? Well, there's not much you can do. You can try to force a fight, but you're not always successful with that. So what did I do? I stayed a little bit lower, that it looks like I'm out of range, but I'm going like 450 or 560 speed even. And all I have to do is wait for them to start somewhat of a fight. And once they do, I'm just going to pitch up into him. And I'm not really worried about him being able to kill me, because if he goes for me at all, that LA5 is going to be killing him. So now the LA5 starts getting him into a little bit of a spiral. They start getting into a dogfight. And I asked this guy in the chat to do this, and he's actually listening. So that's always nice to see. LA5 tangled up with the P51. And now the P51 is not that fast anymore. If he keeps this fight up, he's either going to give the shot to the LA5, and I know he won't do that, because he doesn't take any risk whatsoever. So he's stalling the LA5 out. He starts diving again, but he's trying to keep this guy as slow as possible, thinking that I am not there. But I am here, and I'm going fast enough to pitch up right into you. So sure, stay as slow as humanly possible. If I don't kill him right here, I'm going to be out of fuel, so I need to make this work. I'm going to start wepping. LA5 is still dogfighting him, and I think he notices right here that he's fucked, because he instantly starts diving away. He probably thinks that I'm low on energy, so he goes straight back up. Unfortunately, I was going a lot faster than you probably thought, and we click him straight out of the air. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.